Gentleman yields back, and now the gentleman from the great state of Missouri, Congressman Luetkemeyer, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I certainly appreciate the thoughtful gentleman from California's remarks on some of the stuff, but I'm kind of curious how Jerome Powell, he indicated you got a third implied duty here to actually work with the budget. I really thought that only the Congress had the ability to impact the budget. We're the ones, not even the legislative, not the executive branch, not the judicial branch. The legislative branch is the one that handles the budget. Am I mistaken on that, Mr. Chairman?
I believe that is right.
I don't think you want our job on top of what you got.
No.
One of the things that's come across my desk in the last few weeks here is some of the legislatures this last year around the country have started to pass banking laws that infringe on federal banking laws. Have you seen this? Are you aware of it? Do you have thoughts on it? Can you tell me what your thoughts may be?
Honestly, I have not seen that, and it wouldn't necessarily come across my desk. It might come across Vice Chair Barr's desk more.
Okay, well, I was just concerned because, I mean, you handle lots of banking rules and regulations, and so we don't want to have the state usurp the duties and responsibilities and the legal ability to.
These are preemption issues?
Yes, preemption issues is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's a big deal for the OCC issue.
Yeah, so I was just curious if you'd run across any of that, had any thoughts on it. Okay. One of the things I just got done coming out of a committee hearing with small business a while ago, and there was a home builder individual there, a contractor, and he was talking about the cost of regulations. You know, basically $1,000 increase in costs about 100,000 homes across the country not being able to be purchased because they're no longer affordable. And so it brings up the point with regards to cost of regulations. You know, do you fall under the Administrative Procedures Act?
Yes.
So part of that act is to determine the cost of a regulation, correct? Or the cost of compliance?
I don't actually know the answer to that, but
okay,
I know we follow carefully the APA.
But I mean, to me, that's a really important point from the standpoint of how you look at rules and regulations to ensure that the cost is not going to be more than the economic benefit of what you're doing. So I mean, this has to be part of your analysis, I would think.
Certainly, we try to make our rules as efficient as possible and to get the job done.
One of the concerns we have is with, and I think the gentleman talked about the credit card situation here, Reg II, and with regards to the Chevron doctrine basically being rescinded, how is that going to affect your rulemaking with regards to some of the more recent ones like Reg II fees and stuff, the Basel rule? Are all those things going to be impacted by this at all?
I mean, it doesn't change our assignment under the Durbin Amendment to do the interchange rule. So we're always focused as an institution on compliance with the law. We're a very law-abiding group.
But does it narrow your ability to go beyond or reinterpret laws and rules and things like that? It seems to me that's what the rule.
That'll be a question for the courts. I mean, the courts will be asking the same question, which is what was Congress's intent for that law, and that's the question we're asking. But what they're saying is courts will give less deference to agencies, I think. Okay. Again, these decisions were just passed down. I was actually out of the country last week while this is all happening. I've had no time to be briefed on any of that, so I'm kind of speculating here.
Okay. One last question. I asked this question yesterday of Secretary Yellen. What keeps you up at night? What is your biggest concern with regards to your responsibilities, with regards to the economy, in regards to the banking system? What is your biggest concern?
So for a long time, it's been cyber, and the reason is, we know about credit crises and things like that, and financial crises, but we haven't really had something where there's a successful cyber attack on a major financial institution or financial market utility. That's always been my answer. I would actually say now the number one thing that just does keep me awake at night is the balance that I talked about before, which is we're at the critical time of inflation's coming down, the labor market is cooling, and we want to get it right for the benefit of the American people. We want to get inflation down to 2%, but we want to keep a strong labor market too, and trying to make decisions that give that the best chance to happen. That is the thing that I think about in the wee hours.
You know, we've talked about this before, too. You really got a tough job from the standpoint, you're trying to drive down demand, and administration, by spending all this money, is trying to drive it up. It puts you in a really big box, doesn't it? Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll go back.